to be very, very dedicated towards his work always. And I still remember he had called me for his son's wedding reception. We were always in touch with each other, and our kids also had studied in the same school, Manikji Cooper in Juhu. So I used to meet him when he used to come to receive his kids from the school. So we were always in touch with each other, and we did two shows together. One was in Dubai, and another was in Muscat, Oman. And as I told you earlier, that he was born for the music. His entire life was, around music only.
Mr. Murad, right now you were telling us a little bit about working with him on two shows. What was it like to work with him?
He was a very simple person, very simple, and always involved in his work. Always, he was up to something, up to creating something new. And that was his way. Because he has never looked back. He was never out of job. So many other new music directors came on the horizon, but Bappi had remained at his own position. And it's such a pity that one of his songs, Chalte Chalte Mere Ye Geet Yaad Rakhna Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna. गीत तो उनके हमेशा हमें याद रहेंगे बप्पी दा, लेकिन आप तो अलविदा कह के खुद ही चले गए. So really, it's a very big shock. It's a very big loss for the entire film industry, for his billions of fans. And I think he came with a mission to regale the audience with his magical music. He did his job, and what can one say about the person who just passed away all of a sudden? But he came with a mission to entertain the people, and he has gone after completing his job. God bless his soul. What else can we say about him?
Mr. Murad, can I ask you, you were saying that you were childhood friends with him also, apart from, of course, knowing him through his whole life. Can you tell us a little bit more about what he was like as a child? Could you regale us with a few of those stories?
He was like a child at heart. Child. He never grew up, he remained a child always. A very humble person, a complete family man, and he was always involved with his work as well as with his family. He has lived a very well-balanced life, domestic as well as professional life. So he was not a calculating kind of a person. Because of his talent, the producers always approached him for the work. He had never asked for any kind of work, but because of his talent, because of his versatility, this man was never out of job. And he has given so many hit films and hit songs back to back. And he had almost ruled Chennai film industry like Jitendra, like Kader Khan, or like Shakti Kapoor. So he did hundreds of films, and especially he was very popular in Madras also. So because of his behavior, because of his talent, because of his singing talent, he was always in demand, and he has sung very good chartbusters also, like तुम्हारा प्यार चाहिए मुझे जीने के लिए, दिल में हो तुम आंखों में तुम, बोलो तुम्हें कैसे चाहें. And he was a popular singer also, very popular singer also. So he was versatile in the field of music. And of course, you know, his dressing sense, his, love for gold had made him absolutely,
Iconic.
cut up, iconic, and he was cut above the rest. So he was a different kind of a person, but at the same time, being being so successful, he was an innocent person at heart, without any malice, without any calculation. He was an innocent person, absolutely.
Mr. Murad, thank you so much for joining us this morning here at CNN News 18, for sharing with us some of Bappi Da as he's remembered legacy. I'm now going to take our audiences back. You'll remember, talking to Shilpa Ratnam with us. She's here. She was giving us more of an understanding of his legacy. Shilpa, some of the things that Mr. Murad were talking about that I think really rung true for audiences. We don't often hear of someone who's so prolific, but of someone who also had such a balanced home life. That was something Mr. Murad was talking about the fact that he was successful in both spheres. Tell us a little bit more about his family and about who he leaves behind.
Yes, Bappi Lahiri had a very open house where, especially on festivals, there would be a constant stream of people coming in and out. And he had a son. He has a son, Bappa Lahiri, and he also has a daughter, Rema Lahiri. His son Bappa is
Shilpa, I'm so sorry. We're actually going to
composer.
come back to you in a second. We also have the singer Abhishek Bhattacharjee. He's with us right now to give us a little bit more. Firstly, Abhishek, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I'm not sure about how close you were, of course, to Bappi Da. Tell us a little bit more about your connection to him first. And before you carry on, I'd just like to say I'm so sorry for your loss.
मेरी सक्सेस बोलिए या मेरे करियर के पीछे बप्पी दा का भी बहुत योगदान रहा है.
हाँ.
मेरा स्ट्रगल का आधा टाइम से ज्यादा बप्पी दा के साथ गुजरा है, जब वो मुझे अपने शोज में ले जाते थे. एंड ये हम लोगों को झूठ बोल के बप्पी दा चले गए. बप्पी दा आज से कितने सालों से, 30 साल से, 40 साल से कह रहे हैं कभी अलविदा ना कहना. ये क्या मजाक है, कभी अलविदा ना कहना और अलविदा कह के चले गए. गुड मॉर्निंग आज है ही नहीं. आज के दिन गुड मॉर्निंग वर्ड हट गया, ये सेंटेंस हट गया. इट्स अ बैड मॉर्निंग, इट्स अ वर्स्ट मॉर्निंग. मैं अभी मुंबई से दूर हूँ, 2-2.5 घंटा मैं फट से निकल रहा हूँ और बाद में आप लोगों के साथ बात करूंगा. लेकिन उनको कहना, वो उनको अगर कोई सुर डिस्को किंग बोलता तो ही इज द सुर किंग, मेलोडी किंग.
अभिजीत जी, मैं आपसे ये पूछ सकती हूँ कि उनके साथ काम करने का एक्सपीरियंस कैसा था?
बहुत इजी वे में काम करते थे, बहुत इजीएस्ट. मतलब किसी सिंगर को कोई प्रेशर नहीं देते थे. हर चीज में वाह, हर चीज में वो मोटिवेट करते थे, हर चीज में वो इनकरेज करते थे. कुछ इनोवेशन लाओ, कुछ अपने से कुछ करो. मतलब एक लेजेंडरी बोलना भी क्या मैं बोलूं. उनको अगर कहा कि तुम एक तरफ डिस्को किंग हो, एक तरफ मेलोडी किंग, और इतनी छोटी उम्र से वो काम कर रहे हैं और उन्हें छोटी उम्र में ही बड़े बड़ों को चैलेंज किया. इतना बड़ा फाइट. अभी थोड़े दिन पहले, कुछ महीने पहले कोविड से निकल के आए, फिर हम लोगों ने सेलिब्रेशन किया उनके घर पे. इतना बड़ा एक उनका कुछ so many years of his career. मैं बप्पा और रीमा के लिए मेरा पूरा, जब पहुंच रहा हूँ उनके घर पे जल्दी से, फिर मैं जाके बात करता हूँ. क्या शब्द नहीं मेरे पास आज.
अभिजीत जी, हमारे साथ आज जुड़ने के लिए धन्यवाद. Thank you so much for bringing us, your story with Bappi Da. For our audiences, we're actually also joined by the composer Lalit Pandit. He's with us here this morning. Mr. Pandit, firstly, I'd just like to say from CNN News 18 side, we're so sorry for your loss. Can you tell us a little bit about your experiences working with Bappi Da?
Well, Bappi Da actually was like an elder brother to us, because Bappi Da had made my sister Sulakshna Pandit sing many songs. She sang songs with him, she sang his song with Kishore Da, and he was a melodious king. He was just not a disco king, but if you hear some of the songs that he made with Kishore Da especially, and some of the songs he sang himself, they're so melodious, and they're very iconic songs, like some of the songs that we think of Adi Varman. He was a very high caliber composer and a very nice human being, very easy to work, and he was a very appreciative person. He was a genius and a great man. I mean, a great composer, and it's very sad that he's gone. And this is another blow from COVID, because Bappi had COVID some months ago, and he was suffering, and then he came home, and recently there was a celebration at his house, and we all met him at his house, and he was not well, but he was still enjoying with everybody, and it's a very devastating blow to the industry. बप्पी लहरी का जाना बहुत ही दुख की बात है और बहुत ही शॉकिंग है, क्योंकि इतने अच्छे खुद सिंगर रहे हैं और इतने अच्छे गाने बनाए हैं, और एक जमाने में जब बप्पी लहरी एकदम टॉप पे थे तो उन्होंने बड़े बड़े म्यूजिक डायरेक्टर को दिया था। उनके भी सीनियर थे। ही वाज वर्किंग so hard. He used to work day and night, a very hard working music director, and he was very quick to compose a song, arrange and work, and very, very extraordinary gifted composer and a singer. It's a very hard blow to the industry that we've lost a good human being and a composer as far she was.
Lalaji, can I ask you something? You know, you're talking to us a little bit about just how special he was when it came to actually making and composing his music. You know, you too are obviously a composer. For our audiences who don't, you know, maybe have such a strong understanding, could you explain to us what was so special about what Bappi was infusing into his music?
Well, Bappi was a musician himself. So when a musician turns a composer, there's an evident style that emerges in the composition. Bappi has learned tabla from Santa Prasad. He was a guitarist. Bappi used to play a lot of rhythm. So if you see his arrangement and everything, the harmony structure of his chords, of his songs were, not like a novice. He was not an instinctive composer. He just composed song on words and didn't know anything about harmony or arrangement of the song. He was a complete composer. He knew his rhythms in the songs that he did, and he worked out his harmony. The harmony of the song, when he made only, that this is made by someone who knows music very well, and that is Bappi. His arrangement and everything in the song and the way he composed makes one see who does music or knows music that this person knows music and knows what he's doing. Bappi was absolutely a learned musician, an all-rounder himself in different, because music has a lot of aspects. Music is not just making a song. There are a lot of things involved in a music composition and recording. And Bappi knew everything about it. He knew how to not over-arrange the song, not have too many sounds in the song. Just on a guitar and something like that, he would, record songs like that. If you hear his songs in Ek Baar Kaho, are still very less known. Wonderful songs he made. Then if you hear the songs of Chalte Chalte, it's often lovely songs. And Kishore Da loved him. किशोर दा को वो अपना मामा कहते थे, और बहुत किशोर दा का बहुत कॉपरेशन और बहुत प्यार रहा है इनसे। किशोर दा क्या गाने अगर आप सुने जो इन्होंने प्रकाश मेहरा जी के साथ किए हैं, they are some of the biggest item songs that one can hear, पत्तू गुरुबान की, ये भी जो जॉनर था इनका, जो डांसिंग नंबर्स बनाते थे, he was tremendous in this. And as I said, at one point when he was really rocking the music industry, he was beyond every composer of that time.
Every composer of that time. All right. Lalit ji, हमारे साथ आज जुड़ने के लिए धन्यवाद. Thank you so much for coming with us here today, this morning. Now, I'm also joined by Ila Arun. Our audiences will, of course, know her as not just the popular TV actress, but also a highly acclaimed pop and folk singer. Miss Arun, thank you so much for joining us this morning. First, from CNN News 18 side, I'm so sorry for your loss. Could you tell us a little bit more about how you're remembering Bappi Da today?
We are all feeling very sad because it's a very, very sad morning for all of us because we were very closely connected to him, and I really owe him my career because there was a time, you know, when for almost 10 years I kept on singing all the hits for Dada. Dada used to say, मजाक में ईला कुछ भी गाएगा मेरा गाना बजा मतलब हिट कर देगा, but दादा खुद हिट थे. दादा गोल्डन मिडास की तरह थे, वो सिर्फ खुद ही गहना नहीं देते थे, वो जिस भी फिल्म का गाना देते थे वो गोल्डन हिट हो जाती थी. And he brought a change on a silver screen because that was the time when they were in 1975. I'm talking where Kalyanji Bhai, Anandji Bhai, Lakshmikant, Pyarelal, all these big musicians were there, and you know, Shankar Jaikishan, suddenly Bappi Da comes and brings a change, and he connects with the younger generation. And it's not, his songs were popular not only in India, all over the world. Like I remember when I went to Armenia, the embassy asked me, "Aapko Jimmy 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 गाना पड़ेगा." Mithun Chakravarti's disco dancer, he made me Mithun Chakravarti, and Bappi Da's music was loved all over the world. So दादा के लिए जितना भी बोला जाएगा वो कम है. All musicians are, because he was actually only 69. तो अभी तो आराम से 10 साल और म्यूजिक दे सकते थे. It's sad that he was also suffering. There were certain, you know, कुछ elements ऐसे थे वो शायद केयर ना ले पा रहे हों. और but इंडस्ट्री में सिल्वर स्क्रीन में गोल्डन चैप्टर जब देखा जाएगा तो there will be hundreds of chapters because he has given so many hits with Mr. Bachchan, Sharabi, प्रकाश मेहरा की सारी फिल्मों में दादा होती थी. Then you mention a film, so I can only say, to sum up, that there are a lot of people to give tribute to him. I can say that he personally doted on me और बड़े with full of हक से बुलाती थी. एला अकल आना है, ऐसे like that. So I will just say कि याद आ रहा है तेरा प्यार. And he just did not do only, he was a rock star. So not only that he got a rock into Indian music, he also made some meritorious compositions like Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna and many more. Many more. अभी एकदम से बोलते तो याद नहीं आता. But my tribute to you, Dada, I'll always miss you, and I'll go and connect with the family because he used to call every singer to his place on Saraswati Puja, and this time I did not get a call, and I was desperate कि I was going to Calcutta कि call क्यों नहीं आया, call क्यों नहीं आया. At least I realized that they were all struggling with his, you know, illness, which he was not well. So I will remember and my tribute to you. Okay.
Ms. Arun, thank you so much for joining us this morning. All right, we'll continue to bring you more information. Of course, India has just lost its disco king just a few hours ago from now. We'll try to hear more from relatives, from close collaborators, just about Bappi Da's incredible legacy. Right now, it's time for a short break. More news, more updates about him on the other side. Do stay with us.
Interjected. So allow me. This is what I am saying. It is not the matter of the government. Government tried to control it. Government simply said that whatever the rules and norms are of the school or the educational institute, whether it is a college or a school or any other technical institute or medical institute, the students have to follow that. Simple thing. But we know it very well that where the whole matter goes, where the roots are, everybody knows in today's date. So this is not a political centric matter now. It is a legitimate issue which should be discussed. What is happening in this country?
when
Like
you
we have
say
seen
that
the love
we
jihad
all
starting
know
from,
where...
allow me, please, allow me. I'm saying, look, we saw love jihad starting from south of India. And believe me, very soon, this will be hijab jihad. Hindu girls will be asked that you should also wear hijab. And this is what I am saying.
I'll come to
Now,
that
today,
later, ma'am. I'll come
Hindu
to that
women are being
later.
told you cannot put bindi, you cannot wear Mangal Sutra.
Ma'am,
So,
the
these
larger
things have
questions you're
started.
asking, I'll come to that. Do not worry. We will talk about those things, where this protest or this insistence on wearing the hijab is taking us. We are not shy of that. But I want to first ask you, as the BJP representative, have you all handled this well enough to the extent that Section 144 has to be imposed in various districts? That doesn't say that the law and order situation is fine.
This is what I am saying. It is a conspiracy. And
By
these
whom?
people, they were ready with the toolkit. And we saw that how the things emerged. It started from Udupi, a small place in Karnataka. Then, just like a wildfire, it went to whole of the country, then internationally. So now this issue has become international. International newspapers are writing on it. And international channels are talking about it. So in today's date, hijab has become victim and Bhagwa has become villain. वो खुश हैं, बहुत खुश हैं. उनको जो जिस चीज के लिए कहा गया है, वो चीज उन्होंने पूरी करके दिखा दी कि hijab is a victim and Bhagwa is a villain. This is what we are observing in today's date.
Okay.
Now Hindus are being told that you are a victim. You are not allowing girls to wear hijab. Who is stopping them to wear hijab? आप hijab में रहिए, बुर्के में बिल्कुल बंद होकर रहिए. कोई नहीं मना कर रहा है. पर जहां आप जा रही हैं, उसके norms को आपको follow करना पड़ेगा. This country is not going to run according to Sharia law. This country is going to run according to the constitution of our country.
Well, that matter is in court, and of course the court will decide. But Swati, Anila ji does make a very important point, which is about the hardening of positions, and that is not one-sided. You know, the girls, till now, the schools that had started were refusing, several parents are refusing to send their girls to schools now, even as the court is hearing the matter. They're insisting that without hijab, we will not do it. Will classes trump over hijab or not?
Shivani, I absolutely agree with your concern and your questions, okay? Like, for example, the way
Welcome back. Today is, of course, the birth anniversary of Sant Ravidas, and very much related to that, the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, had, of course, promised to revamp the Sant Ravidas temple in Varanasi. Now, we're showing you how that promise is being kept up to. On the occasion of the birth anniversary of the poet saint, a grand program is currently being held in the town of Sir Govardhanpur. Here's a report of the story on the ground. Take a look.
Preparations are on in full swing at the birthplace of Sant Ravidas in Sir Govardhanpur in Varanasi. During his visit to the temple town in 2016, Prime Minister Modi promised to develop the complex, and then in 2019, he laid the foundation stone for development works.
सभी भक्तजन पहले चरण में लगभग 50 करोड़ रुपए की लागत से विस्तारीकरण